Welcome to the Radio Dawn podcast. How the hell are you? It is the aforementioned. We are broadcasting from a secret location somewhere in the San Infernal Valley of Southern California. This is exclusive to Substack and YouTube. If you're listening to this on Substack, it would be nice if you would subscribe to us. Subscribing right now is free, costs you nothing. Just putting your email address at the designated place below this podcast thingy, and you'll be able to get all of our stuff whenever we put stuff out. If you are listening to us on our YouTube, the YouTube address, by the way, is youtube.com/@Radio Dawn, 1. You can basically subscribe there. Subscriptions there also are free of charge. You can also boost this thing by giving us a like. You can even comment, even if you don't agree with what we're saying. All we ask is that you be respectful. That's not hard. Just be respectful and non-trollish. Wit is fine. Trolling, not so fine. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, if you would like to support us, there are two ways you can do that through our link tree, which is linktr.ee/radiodon, RADIODON. You go there, you can follow us wherever we are socially. And that's a lot of places. But just go there, follow, and you never know what's going to happen wherever I'm going to wind up. Also, if you feel that it's worth it, there's a little thing when you go there, it'll have a circle with a $sign in front of that. Press that. I think you'll know what it is when you see it. And if you feel the need to help out, please do. We've already had a few people do that. I appreciate that, and we'll try to make it worth your while. So here we go. So yesterday, the 47th President of the United States posted on his owned and operated social media site. Apparently, he doesn't believe in putting out pronouncements in the regular channels. So basically, he's doing this through his own social media platform, which I guess people follow just so they can get his posts so they can comment on them. But he did this yesterday, and what he posted yesterday, and you probably heard about some of it, and the some of it that you heard is frightening enough. But some of it that you have not heard is probably even more frightening. It starts up like this. And I'm not going to capitalize and stuff like that. We'll leave a link in the show notes so you can go there and you can, check it out for yourself. But basically, this is what he said. Quoting the Post. Our nation's ICE officers have shown incredible strength, determination, and courage as they facilitate a very important mission, the largest mass deportation operation of illegal aliens in history. Basically, we're talking about undocumented, and many of them are here legally, basically awaiting their turn the right way, as a lot of people want to say it. But they're just, basically in the line, you might say, awaiting their turn to talk to the judge and stuff like that. But continuing. Every day, the brave men and women of ICE are subjected to violence, harassment, and even threats from radical Democrat politicians. Apparently, to him, there are no such things as non-radical Democrats, I guess. But nothing will stop us from executing our mission and fulfilling our mandate to the American people. You don't have a mandate. You didn't get 50% of the vote. And 35% of the people in America didn't vote at all. So even if she won, she wouldn't have had a mandate. ICE officers are herewith ordered, by notice of this truth, to do all in their power to achieve the very important goal of delivering the single largest mass deportation program in history. Dear Congress, can we find a way to make sure that pronouncements on social media, even if it's a social media platform that's owned by that particular president, are not official notices? There have been 45 people, other than the current president, who have used, regular forms of communication to put out orders. But now, social media? Really? Going back, in order to achieve this, we must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. Notice all three of them are Democratic cities. Blue cities, if you want to say it that way. Where millions upon millions of illegal aliens reside. Probably not that many, but yeah. These and other such cities are the core of the Democrat power center, which means that this has absolutely nothing to do with illegal aliens whatsoever. This is basically targeted at Democrats. The type of people who showed up in every single city of every single size last Saturday and protested against this man's sorry orange ass. These and other such cities are the core of the Democrat power center, where they use illegal aliens to expand their voter base, cheat in elections, and grow the welfare state. May we also point out that undocumented aliens cannot vote. They are not part of the voter base. Therefore, they cannot cheat in elections. And they can't get welfare. Donald Trump should check these things. More on that later. Continuing, robbing good paying jobs and benefits from hardworking American citizens who wouldn't do and this is me, they wouldn't do the jobs that are being filled by these illegal aliens to begin with. It's been proven. Georgia basically banned illegal aliens from taking other jobs by just basically saying that, we will do what ICE right now is doing. And illegal aliens did not show up in Georgia. And then there's a list of the crop reports, and apparently, those hardworking American citizens didn't show up. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and say this. This is where, this is why I'm wearing my Kevlar coated underwear right now. The American work ethic sucks. These illegal aliens, I hate saying it that way, but, I'm just, I'm just doing my George Putnam imitation. If you live in Los Angeles, you know who I'm talking about. But these guys show up at work. If they're supposed to be at work at 9, they're usually in by 8:45, and they work diligently without complaint until 5 o'clock or whenever they're still needed. A lot of American workers, not saying most, but it could, they'll show up at 9:06 or something like that. When they get in, they'll take time off to go to the bathroom for about 30 minutes, come out and maybe shuffle a couple of papers, go back to the bathroom for another 30 minutes, have a coffee break, take about 90 minutes for lunch, lollygag for about 15 minutes, go to the bathroom again for another 30, and they'll just mill around in their veal fattening pens until 5 o'clock. And some of them may have a head start at 4:55. The reason why these illegal aliens are taking your jobs is because you are probably giving them your jobs on a silver platter, gift wrapped with red ribbon. Going back to the Truth Post, these radical left Democrats are sick of mind, hate our country, and actually want to destroy our inner cities. And they're doing a good job of it. This is the part where I think it gets really bad, because I don't think this is just about illegal aliens. Because I'm quoting the truth. That is why they believe in open borders, transgender for everybody. What does that mean, Mr. President? What does that mean? That everybody wants to be transgender? Every cis woman wants to be a trans man? Every cis man wants to be a trans woman? Or does it mean, we get to date a trans woman? What does that mean? And men playing in women's sports. Isn't that the biggest insult to women athletes? Because the one who's been going around for years, Riley Gaines, I believe her name is, the reason why he became such the darling of the right is because she supposedly lost to a trans woman, and both of them were beaten by about 4 or 5 cis women. In other words, Riley Gaines, you weren't that good. Men playing women's sports. And that is why I want ICE, Border Patrol, and our great and patriotic law enforcement officers to focus on our crime-ridden and deadly inner cities and those places where sanctuary cities play such a big role. You don't hear about sanctuary cities in our heartland. Mr. President, there are at least 7 sanctuary counties, not cities, counties in the state of Nebraska. In the state of Nebraska. There are sanctuary counties in Kansas. Actually, it borders Kansas and Missouri, Kansas City, I guess. Memphis is a sanctuary city. Memphis is in the Midwest. It's sort of like the Mid-South. There are even sanctuary cities and sanctuary counties in Montana. In Utah. Utah is a sanctuary state. New Mexico, which is on the border, but could, the New Mexico, I thought was a red state. But New Mexico is rife with sanctuary cities and sanctuary counties. Yes, you hear about that in the Midwest. Maybe not, maybe the Midwest to you is Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida. But sanctuary cities are not, they are not bound by just either being in the South or in so-called red states. There are some red states that are, as I said, rife with sanctuary cities and counties, such as Nebraska. Maybe you don't hear about sanctuary cities in our heartland. Maybe you should get out more. Getting back to the Truth Social post. I want our brave ICE officers to know that real Americans are cheering you on every day. We've seen the numbers. Most people in America are not in love with what you're doing. Most people in America are not. Maybe real Americans are the minority. The American people want our cities, schools, and communities safe and free from illegal alien crime. So basically, you have no problem with domestic crime, I guess. Conflict, conform or die, and chaos, such as what you are basically fomenting from the White House. That's why I've directed my entire administration to put every resource possible behind this effort and reverse the tide of mass destruction migration that has turned once idyllic towns into scenes of third world dystopia. What the hell does third world mean? What in the hell does third world mean? Tell me. Our federal government will continue to be focused on the remigration of aliens to places from where they came and preventing the admission of anyone who undermines the domestic tranquility of the United States. Keep that sentence in mind. To ICE, FBI, DEA, ATF, the patriots at the Pentagon, and the State Department, you have my unwavering support. Now go get the job done, DJT. Let me go back here and mention that sentence. Our government will continue to be focused on the remigration of aliens to the places from where they came and preventing the admission of anyone who undermines the domestic tranquility of the United States. What that opens up right is the possibility that they're not going to stop with the undocumented. They're already grabbing Hispanic and non-Caucasian citizens. Caucasian citizens will be next, who do not conform. And when I say do not conform, Donald Trump and his Seven Mountains coalition have a specific idea of how you should think, how you should act, how you should behave, how you should think. This goes well beyond just, agreeing with everything Donald Trump says. This goes far beyond that. We're talking about becoming, for instance, the type of Christian they want you to become. The type of Christian they would like you to become. And if you do not adhere to the MAGA state of mind, you may be the next one going to El Salvador. I may be the next one to go to El Salvador. And there will be some people who will be very happy that happens. That tweet, fruit, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most frightening thing to come out of this administration to date. This has nothing to do with illegal aliens and everything to do with basic tenet of conform or die. Just one more little lance here. Actually two. First, let's deal with the tragedy that happened in Minnesota, where a state senator, I believe he was the former Speaker of the Senate there, and her husband were killed by a person who is probably the last person you would probably think of as a MAGA. Dude's name is Vance Bolter, Boelter. He is 57. He is charged in the killings of Melissa and Mark Hortman and the shootings of John and Yvette Hoffman, also state senators in Minnesota. All Democrats, by the way. The Hoffmans, by the way, are basically fighting for their lives as we record this. He was captured last night. It was a capture without incident. There were no shots fired. It was peaceful. He got into custody. But that was not the only thing that happened this weekend during the No Kings demonstrations. In Salt Lake City, somebody was shot during those demonstrations. Now, we don't know specifically whether or not it was connected to No Kings or not. We do have our suspicions. And with those bits of violence, it made me realize something, actually confirm something. It's one of the reasons I'm not necessarily in line with all the people doing all of the boycotts here, because we think that all these people have to do to get back on our good side is to go back on certain policies. For instance, Target. All they have to do is basically reinstate DEI practices, and we'll be back. Really? Here's the thing. We who are on the left will say, well, if you do something that we don't like, all we do is we are going to not shop at your stores, not do business with you. There are those on the right who will say, if you do something we don't like, we will not shop at your stores. We will not do business with you. And if you continue to do something that we don't like, we could meet your general manager of the store outside after hours and beat them up, or a cashier and do horrible things to her, or, take a Molotov cocktail and make like Joe Montana. These people have shown that they do not just simply stop at withholding their funds. They will resort to violence, as it has happened this weekend, as it has happened in many cases. And Target, looking at the lay of the land, said, okay, we've got two choices. We can either lose money and maybe face bankruptcy by not doing this, or we could do this and risk having our stores destroyed and people die. Go broke and live, or do the right thing and die. Courage is a wonderful thing until it's time to show it yourself. And it's not just big corporations. I'm talking to you, trying to pack your bags and go to Canada to try to escape this hellscape. Courage is a wonderful thing until it's time to show it. If you made it past this, if you got this far, I thank you. And we'll be back soon with another one of these things. Remember, follow us and support us on our link tree, linktr.ee/Radio Dawn. Follow us on our Substack, which is radiodon.substack.com. Follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/@Radio Dawn, the number 1. We're also available wherever you get the podcast. This particular podcast will not be on those platforms, but there will be more coming, and probably a lot more polished than this one is right now. I'm just ranting today, but I hope you have a great week. We will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.